It said a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, how about this picture? The Biden regime is providing to Israel and Ukraine UN Security Council cover plus arms, grants, loans, and funding, thus enabling the two bloodthirsty rogue states of Israel and Ukraine to wage war with U.S. taxpayer money. To be strictly correct, the money is created from thin air and added to the nation's debt tab, as you'll shortly hear Alan Greenspan say. He was the former Federal Reserve chairman. He admits this is how America really runs its affairs. It prints fiat money from thin air.
Are U.S. Treasury bonds still safe to invest in?
Very much so. I think this is not an issue of credit rating. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default.
The world has had enough of America as the world's bully, funded by money printing, which no other nation can do. From World War II to 1971, Bretton Woods made the dollar the world's reserve currency before it went fiat. More nations are gravitating to the BRICS Union. Member nations are using their own currencies to bypass America and the U.S. dollar. This is catastrophic for America. U.S. sanctions against nations then won't work, and America's sole reserve currency status is over. By implication, Alan Greenspan raised the question you might never have considered. If the government can have the Fed print money, why is Americans income taxed? The answer is that it's about control. Controlling you and your spending behaviors. When you can't afford housing, utilities, food, clothing, and health care, blame the government. Overspending by government fuels inflation. Workers can only spend their meager fixed income, unlike government that can endlessly spend fueling inflation. Don't let government project upon you that you're the problem for inflation and rising prices. It's them with the pork barreling, boondoggles, government waste, barrage of laws, regulations and controls, red tape, transfers to the military-industrial complex, and waging endless wars, plus splashing around foreign aid giveaways that disappear into black holes of corruption in foreign regimes. It's the American government and the politicians that are the problem. Americans should also push to get rid of the unconstitutional income tax. How dare they tax your time and exertion that belongs to you no matter how you use it? The IRS must be stopped as an instrument of terror against ordinary wage and salary earners. The United States is foolish to weaponize the dollar as a means to enforce sanctions. This undermines the dollar in what is fast becoming a multipolar world of non-American alliances. If nations lose faith in the dollar because of U.S. sanctions, they move away from it, as they are now doing, and the U.S. money printing comes to an end. And there goes America's standard of living and America's ability to fund endless wars. This is where the Biden regime is taking America. Trump will be no different as the American Congress and its foreign policy is captured by the Israeli lobby, which operates illegally in contravention of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, applicable to agents inside America acting for foreign nations. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, operates in Israel's interests. It has captured the U.S. Congress and every significant politician. America has selections and not elections. Both Biden and Trump are vassals of Jewish and Israeli interests, and Israel interests are war. The politicians are seditious traitors. The American people matter, and not the interests of Jews and Israel, which are the same. The traitors go far beyond just Biden and Trump. These are senators who have taken Jewish lobby money by getting the AIPAC stamp of approval as supporters of Jewish and Israel's interests. We don't have time to show every congressional member, as almost all of Congress is implicated. 92 out of 100 members in the Senate are deemed AIPAC Jew and Israel friendly. They are either beholden, bought, bribed, blackmailed, or are ardent, loyal supporters of Israel. Here is Congress giving multiple standing ovations to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I want to thank you, Democrats and Republicans, for your common support for Israel, year after year, decade after decade. No matter on which side of the aisle you sit, you stand with Israel. This Capitol Dome helped build our Iron Dome. My country, Israel, the one and only Jewish state. I know that America stands with Israel. I know that you stand with Israel.
That was sickening to watch if you're American. A leader of a foreign nation making it evident who controls America. Shame, shame, shame on the cheerleaders you saw in America's own Congress. No wonder Netanyahu says America belongs to Israel and it will do what it's told. Jews and Israel have seized America. Many of the Congress people you saw hold dual American and Israeli citizenship, as are some of the faces here. For time expediency, we won't go into all or each congressional representative where it's a similar story. As you saw, it's sufficient to say Jews have captured the U.S. Congress for Jewish values, interests in Israel, and damn the American people. You can go to trackapac.com to see the conga line of elected congressional culprits whose constituents would be horrified if they knew they have a congressman or woman who are cheerleaders for Israel and Jewish interests. Ask your congressional representative if they're taking Jewish money or signed any AIPAC or Jewish lobby documents or questionnaires of support for Israel. Call, write, or email them and ask. America has fallen, and Israel is the tail wagging the American dog. The blood you see on Biden's hands is the same blood of all those in Congress disloyal to America and loyal to Israel. This betrayal is going to drag America into World War III, and with it the well-being of every American and their lifestyle of abundance and plenty. Loss of freedoms and increased surveillance will follow, and the Fourth Amendment be damned as government pries into your affairs using contracted third-party proxies of the NSA to circumvent the Fourth Amendment, preventing unlawful search and seizure. Add to this terrorists gravitating to American soil because of the odium America has earned for being an unquestioning handmaiden, financial funder, weapons supplier, and in combat theater an intelligence provider to Israel when it attacks its neighbors. Open borders and white replacement is a sign the American government has no intention of protecting the American homeland from invaders, yet defending Israel is paramount to the political sellouts. The blood from politicians' hands and the blood of Americans will metaphorically flow in the streets when Americans finally say enough is enough and demand Israel be cut loose, the border secured, and congressional grift and graft must cease. The endless money printing must stop and the borders be secured. Expel every single invader and their progeny, even if born in America. By their very presence in America, they are beneficiaries of a crime against the American people and the Constitution. They must be stripped of any anchor baby ill-gotten citizenship and have to go, every last one of them. This prognostication foretells the inevitable fate for the invaders. The politicians have blood on their hands, and we see it as a result of their unequivocal support of Israel's perpetual crimes against humanity. Get rid of every traitorous and seditious politician and cut Israel loose to meet its fate. Americans don't want World War III. They don't want their children to die for Israel. Enough is enough. This call needs to become a roar by your sharing this message. Do it now.